the clock. I am here with my pal Will Green. Will, what's up, man? Anything going on?
Nothing going on. No. Yeah, just same shit, different day.
Yeah, I feel like there's something happening right now. Is that a thing? I don't really know. Let me make sure that we're.
No, I haven't anything. Let me check the news real quick.
Yeah.
What's going on?
We're just being funny. We're being humorous. We're comedians, and that's what we do. I want to thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate. We scheduled this before the world started to end, and now let's just talk about it. You want to just talk about it?
We could.
Yeah.
Sure. You were going to talk about my creative process, but
I was.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's apropos to do that now in the middle of this, but
your show.
I don't know. This whole hullabaloo, this hullabaloo is happening right now. It's wild. It's 7:03 p.m. Eastern time, and we're in Michigan. I say that because we had someone from the Netherlands yesterday that was wild, that was watching and commenting. His name was Bert. Hopefully Bert sees this and says what's up. So
Bert, if you can tell the rest of Europe, we are not fans of this, okay? This does not represent
right.
all
We don't. Absolutely not. We don't like this at all.
I know we've judged every other country by like what one or two guys from their country does for the last 100 years. Please do not. Yeah.
I know. So, I mean, we were going to talk about the creative process. I think it wouldn't be. I think we'd be remiss. I think that would be the word if we didn't talk about what's happening right now. So there was obviously some sort of coup. There was a coup, I think, that happened.
Coup.
I never would have thought that we would see a coup. I never thought that we would see a coup in our country.
I didn't think we would get a coup. I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming in our timeline.
We're not a coup kind of country. We're not a coup. I didn't think so.
Well, we do other people's coups.
Yes, we do. That's.
If you want to have a coup, we will help make a coup happen for you.
Yeah. We will help.
We prefer to not have coups. We have been coup free for going on 200 years. We've been coup free.
Yeah, this is some real John Adams shit happening right now. This is crazy. So I actually was me being an idiot. Was thinking that everything would be fine today, and I wasn't paying attention. I was working away, and then I got a text from Zach Martina, and he's like, I don't know if you're busy right now, but if you're paying attention to what's going on, I'm like, what's going on? And then I put on CNN on my computer. I'm like, holy shit, this is wild. This is some wild stuff, and now I'm just catching up after all the stuff that I missed. When
did he tell you this?
I don't remember. He texted me and then I didn't see the text for like a while, and so I think he texted me like right when it was going on, and I saw it a couple hours later because I was just in the middle of doing some stuff, and I was just completely blown away by this, and so to catch up now, there was a they were going to declare a riot or a curfew at 6:00.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing people still there, and I don't understand what. I wanted to wait. I was a couple minutes late because I wanted to see before I came down here to do this with you, like what was going to happen, and they're just standing there. No one's going anywhere. Like, what have you seen anything different? Have you?
I just got home at like 6:30, so
okay.
I was in the car for about a half hour there.
Okay.
Yeah, the last thing I heard though was when they were like, yeah, the National Guard is going to come after all.
Oh.
So.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah, National Guard.
I guess.
All right. I guess.
Yeah, I guess we got.
Are there black people? I only like to do it when it's black people. I don't want to do it.
How is this?
But I guess all right.
I mean, this is the biggest demonstration publicly of white privilege that I've ever seen in my life. Is that fair? Is that or not fair?
I think that's fair.
It made me. I didn't see the pictures of the people in the sitting where Pelosi and McConnell, where everyone sits, and I just saw that right before we came down here, and it made me physically ill to see that. Yeah. That was I don't know, when we would go to the Capitol in Lansing, because we grew up not far away. Mm-hmm. It's always roped off, and you always kind of have that kind of like respect, right? For something. Something that's bigger than you.
Reverence, maybe even reverence.
Reverence. There you go. That's a good one. Reverence. And to see someone sitting there, like you could easily Photoshop a helmet with 2 beers on either side, and that would be that. I'm sure. I'm surprised they weren't wearing it when they.
I'm sure somebody out there. Yeah. In that sea of monsters is wearing that for sure.
It's just sickening, and I don't know what to do. Like I've been thinking, and share with your thoughts with me on this. Like we grew up in a rural area, and we grew up in the same area, and there are people that even in my own family that I don't agree with, politically. And where do we go? What do we do? What do we do from here? What are your thoughts?
I don't know at all. That's I've made the joke all like a handful of times along the way here. That like all we can kind of do is make snarky comments on the internet. That seems to be our main weapon right now for most of us. We kind of put the power to do something about this in the hands of people, and then those people, some of them, have not done anything about it.
I know.
So now we're here. So I don't know.
I mean, at some point, it becomes, and I don't want to like excuse behavior of other people, because I think we need to be accountable for our actions. But I think at some point, these people that were supporting Trump came to a point where they had to have realized that this isn't going to work. This isn't going to play out the way that we thought it was going to be. And I would have thought that they would have then distanced themselves and kind of asked him or put tremendous pressure on him to say, listen, this is not the way to do this. And every time it's failed. The humanity that I would hope that we would still have isn't there. And there's no I don't understand where we go. Where do we go from here?
It feels like elected officials that should have that are like basically Republicans who should have been like, okay, we need to fucking knock this off. All along, I think they kind of knew that behind all this was what we're seeing, like a bunch of crazy people. And they're like, even though whether or not they, even though Mitch McConnell probably thinks that all those people are crazy people and wants nothing to do with them. Right, for sure. Yep. But he also knows, that's a lot of votes there. I need to make sure I keep those votes. And these guys are crazy enough that they might not vote for me if I speak up and do something about that. And I think from all the way from Mitch McConnell all the way down to like our local politicians who have just not said anything about crazy stuff that's been going on. Yeah. They all, if you want to win middle of nowhere counties around here, you need, however many QAnon people in your county, you're going to need their vote, So I don't know. I think they all are just afraid to speak up.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously this is an unprecedented thing. I've never seen this. I don't think it's ever happened. Hopefully it never happens again, but I just don't know what we're supposed to do. January, what's today? The 6th. What do we do? What do we do as a country? We wake up January 7th. and this has happened, and the transition, the democracy is like how you. It's only good as how you transition it, right? I mean, that's that's kind of the. Otherwise, it's a meaningless thing. It's
Yeah, like I think it's the same as like, I mean, it's only as good as we all believe in it to be.
Mm-hmm.
If people don't play by the rules we've all made up, then it doesn't work. So, or if enough of them, I guess, if there's a couple people.
Yeah,
it's my shenanigans, it's whatever. But
my buddy John is watching on Periscope, and he asked how many people from Ovid were in DC today.
Could be a couple. I don't know.
I know. I've been interacting with. I'm very strategic about interacting with people on Facebook about this, but for the most part, I just unfollow. But I decided to engage today, and there's somebody, I don't know, we shouldn't name, I guess, I don't know, who cares? I mean, it's like
your show.
So yeah, I mean, I just don't understand it's how do we come together when we're working from two separate set of facts? That's the thing, and I think that's Trump knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew how to create a narrative where either if he wins, it's because he's the greatest president of all time, or if he loses, it's because someone's stealing something from him, and that's clever. That's a clever marketing. Normally, people would be like, "That's crazy," but when
buy that.
Wait a minute. And now we're in a position where like he's got this mess that's just been created, and how do we? It's shit. It's taking a shit in the kids' sandbox, and now there's no more sand left, and we're just left in this gigantic box of shit.
Sand. Yeah.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing else to suck it up because it's just at max capacity of cat shit, and how do we get together and have a conversation where, like, at some point when you have family members that may be like drug addicts or something like that, you have an intervention and you sit them down and it's like, listen, we love you, but we can't let this happen anymore. And now if we turn on TV and CNN, there are people's brothers and sisters that broke into the Capitol. And I just don't know what to do. And hopefully, I guess part of the reason why I wanted to continue to do this tonight is just so this is part of, it's just you and I, we're not politicians or whatever. We're just comedians. We're funny people and like, but like at a very base level, we're also human beings. And like, how do we process this? And I'd like to figure out a way that we could have a conversation. If someone is watching this and is if they could think I'm completely wrong, I would love the chance to talk with them. I would love to because I still think that at the very basis of people, we can connect with them and figure out why they got to this point. I know it's really easy to be angry and to have a lot of revenge and hate and all that kind of stuff. I completely understand that. From a personal level, obviously I'm a white guy in my 40s, but I can't understand. I can empathize with other people being angry, and I understand that. But I don't understand. I don't know what we're supposed to do. How are we supposed to? Because if not, then we just pack it up. What do we just pack this up and over somehow? I don't know how that's going to happen.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, even if we move past this particular, next few weeks, and we make it to that, and Biden's president, and there's still 70 bajillion people out there who are out of their minds, just not in the same reality that we are for some reason.
Yeah, and
so I don't know where those people go.
I know. I used to feel bad saying that, but I don't. think I should feel that way anymore, because it's not like our president. This is how crazy that our president thought that the vice president today could just say, I'm not gonna do it. That's right. What he thought.
Yeah.
Now, either one of two things. Either he's absolutely fucking batshit nuts, which is possible, or again, he's set up one of these scenarios, this little gambit where like either he's crazy, or if you don't follow him, and he knew that Pence could not do this, I think, right?
I would assume. Yeah, I think it's just you put Pence in the situation. You're like putting it out there that there's an option, even though there's totally not an option.
Right.
Yeah, so you put it out there, and now all your crazy people will go, yeah, Pence, Pence can do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
Yeah.
I can't do that.
And then so he has to dance this line between like reality and trying to save his own ass. And like he could I think if right now at 7:18 p.m. Eastern time, I think Pence, if he tried to invoke the 25th Amendment, I think he probably could. And I think
feels like the right time.
Yeah. If there was ever a time. This would be
like people banging on the door. They're like, okay, now. Okay, all right, now. Go for it. Do it.
I guess.
All right. Yeah.
I think he could do that. And it's curious why he's not. And is it because he thinks that without Trump's blessing, I don't think he has any chance. And
sure. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And
he's going to lose all those people. I mean, I started following Parler Cake on Instagram.
Okay.
They signed up for Parler, and then they'll just,
Oh, right.
And literally, they were already saying, like, yeah, he's a deep state pedophile. Yep. Like that.
Wow.
Well, like, in that much time. Wow. Deep state pedophile. Oh, yeah. Anybody who wouldn't help with this?
See, so that's an interesting. I'm studying a lot of like marketing and trying to. As I'm getting older and like trying to run a business, like trying to figure out marketing and how really great marketing campaigns work is they prey on emotion and at a very base level. And it's interesting that when Trump wants to dismiss someone like that, or that group wants to dismiss someone like that, they're going to evoke something that's going to an emotion towards someone. If you call someone a pedophile, that's a real people have very strong negative opinions, as they should, but you call someone that and it immediately turns off the thinking part of your brain, and it turns you into the animal like part of your brain where you're not thinking it, your alligator brain, right? Where it's just emotion. And it's really interesting how he's able to do that, like calling people names. And people are like, oh, it's name calling, whatever. But it's a psychological trick of getting people to do what you want to do, and he's really good at it. So either, and I don't know, I would really just like to know, like, beyond the curtain, like if we could ever get an honest answer from him, which will never happen, but like what his actual thought process was about this. He'll never say that. And like if he knew, but he's a master at marketing, I think, and a huge piece of shit, obviously. But it's something that we can say he's terrible and all that, and I agree. But how do we learn from it? And I think how dangerous that is. Like it's that we've never seen this before. A president being able to communicate directly with people with Twitter, and how you can manipulate people directly. Because you're like, if you're me, when I check Twitter, I'm taking a shit. That's the only time I check Twitter. I don't check it during the day.
I'm like you, yes.
I'm in my bathroom alone, cold, dark, and then someone speaking directly to me in all capital letters, saying they're stealing our election. Like, well, all right, well, my plan's go out the window. I'm driving to Washington, Yeah, my friend John said, can't fix stupid. Yeah, you're right. I mean, But how do we have to work with people, because if we look at the bell curve, right, there's 70% of people are average. I mean, that's what the, right, average intelligence maybe.
Sure.
That's just the way the curve, I didn't make the curve. It's just kind of the way it is.
How bell curves work.
Yeah. So that's 70% of people. How, and I think an overwhelming majority of the 70% of the people seem, not maybe an overwhelming majority, but a lot of those people that fit in that 70% have been manipulated by this. So how do we communicate with them? And I know I'm angry. I'm so pissed off. I'm so angry. But what does that do? I mean, it makes me go to my hole and want to get angry even more. But there's got to be a way that we can talk to people. And I know people are like, why would you want to do that? Well, because we're all part of this thing, and I think we've got to work together at some point. I know there's so many bad things that have happened in this country, and we should make no excuses for it. We just have it out in the open and we talk about it. One really interesting thing that I watched was this documentary was this 2 days in a row we're going to talk about soccer. So sorry, but this is more about life than soccer. So this one documentary on Amazon is about how soccer influenced Rwanda and Rwandan culture. Okay. And in '93, the genocide that they had, over 1 million people within, I think it's 6 months, were just killed, just murdered. And so the president, who you can argue whether or not they call him a benevolent dictator now, who's taken over. So he's been in power ever since, and now he's finally going to cede power, which would be interesting if a dictator can give up power.
That's kind of good. I don't know. Benevolent dictator gives up power. I don't know. Sounds like an improvement.
So what's really interesting is in the country, when he took over, he wanted to figure out a way, how do we heal from all this? And this is, million people just wiped off the face of the planet, and would go to your house and they're killing everybody. Yep. And so what they did is they thought, we're going to have trials that are made up of people in the community. And we're not going to it's not going to be a judge or a jury. We're all going to sit in judgment of the people that were a part of this thing. And the genocide, the mass genocide. So some of these people went to jail for a period of time. And then the dictator was like, listen, this is a huge drain on our resources. We can't, if we're focused on punishment, how are we going to look at growing? And I'm like, holy shit, I've never seen any kind of thinking like that. And so then what they did is they put in place a trial where the citizens would listen to people who confessed at being part of this genocide. And then the people, there were no appeals from it whatsoever. So there were no appeals. The person would confess. They would tell them, what happened, what they did. And then the community would come up with a punishment. And that's what the punishment was. And then at some point, people started, working together. They started figuring out that we have to, one guy who had his dad was just murdered, just completely murdered right in front of him. He listened to the guy that killed his dad. And he then said, I was angry. But then at some point I said, I can't carry that with me the rest of my life because it's going to consume me. So I just decided to forgive. And I'm like, holy shit. And then this is how soccer turns into it. They decided to play a match between the victims of that had their family members killed and the people that were actually doing the genocide. And it's not perfect. It's not a perfect system.
A lot of yellow cards in that one, I bet. No slide tackles. Come on.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah.
So how did it
Like
turn out? Sorry.
everyone just like looks the other way.
Did they all get together? Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, and so I'm thinking like that, like how do we've got a tremendous amount of just baggage in this country, and like I don't think we've ever really addressed it. I don't think it's
Sure, yeah.
and like we started to see more of it, and over the summer and through the protests and stuff, but I just don't, it's not enough. But how do we, where do we go from here? It's yeah, I don't know. I just said that to just put that out there, I guess.
Play soccer. We could try it.
Yeah. We'll play the
I don't have better ideas, I'll be honest with you.
QAnon versus, I don't know, just normies.
Most of those guys though wouldn't play though. They'd refuse. They'd say it was,
that's true. Yeah, some sort of terrible.
It'd have to be. I guess we could play basketball or something.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Let's do that. But I just I'm George W. Bush had something. He said there was an insurrection. What happened today? And yeah, I say what you will about George W. Bush, but like, what the hell? Like, yeah,
I know. Yeah, it's bad when you're like, all right, finally, someone speaking some sense.
Yeah,
who is it? George Bush. Oh yeah, okay.
Oh my God, he's painting his watercolors, and he's so mad, but as he should.
Yeah, I was hopeful that, I mean, it probably was stupid to be, but I was hopeful this summer that, there was going to be, we were headed in the right direction, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that we are.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get the anger, and I get it. And I want to bring people into the conversation and talk. And how do we talk? How do we move? Because if we can't, then we have to do something. Because we can't keep, going through this cycle of where just this negativity, I guess, is.
Yeah.
I don't know. My friend John says the people that are in DC right now can't run the pitch. They're #obese. So
soccer joke? I don't understand.
Yeah, pitch.
Is it called the pitch?
Field. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. I know. It's
100-yard volleyball. That's what Mr. B called it.
Here he goes. The Capitol security is as good as Don Brown defense against Ohio State.
I get it. Didn't even show up.
No, just looks confused and old.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I mean, like, and we didn't know this was going to happen. Do we not plan?
That's what then and then your brain starts doing that, where it's like, okay, they knew this was happening. They didn't have the National Guard there. They just had a bunch, just the Capitol Police. I mean, and then you got the video of them letting them in, basically taking selfies with people. I don't even so then your brain just starts to do all kinds of right conspiratorial swimming about what on earth is happening right now.
Yeah. So I think what's going to happen. They said that they were going to go back tonight when everything's clear, and they're going to finish what they were going to do today, which is great. I think you got to keep going and trying to figure out what to do, and you can't let this get in the way.
It is weird though that we're all I don't want to say all, because not all of us right now, but the whole thing works because we've all been in agreement up until now that all right, we all put names down on a paper and we give them to the guy and he counts them, and then they tell the other guys how many there were, and then they tell the other guys, and then they finally at the end we have this one special group of people and they go, yep, looks good, here's the new guy.
Yep.
And if that process we've come up with doesn't happen, and then what? So we need we need those people to get together in that room and vote on this and all agree on this.
I know.
Right.
And yeah, and if you don't like the results, then don't cry like a kid, like and throw a fit and a tantrum. You just got to organize better. I mean, that's like Stacey Abrams, right? I mean, that's the woman in Georgia.
Yeah, that's
what an amazing story. Like what just a fantastic story about mobilizing a group of people to do something. That's how powerful that is like how much work does it take to get people to vote? We've never had this like in America, we take it for granted, right? It's like, oh, I guess I have to do this thing. Jesus,
after work.
Yeah, and I think part of it is like, we got to take off work or go after work, and like other countries, it's like, why would you have people right? Why would you have people work on the most important day in a democracy?
Yeah, we should definitely have that day off for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Call it Stacey Abrams Day or voting day. I don't know. It's the same thing. But yeah, it's I don't know. I think we really got to it though. We got to the bottom of.
I think we solved it.
Yeah, we solved it, and I'm really looking forward to this. So I'd like to invite you to come on again when we don't have some sort of political crisis.
So my creative process. What I do is
great segue.
I just write stuff down when stuff funny happens, but
that's funny. Anything you want to promote? Let's talk about your entrepreneur.
I think that would be
Yeah, we'll talk about real quick, and I want to have you on again. But I'll give a quick promo for Bangos. Definitely, if you're in the Lansing area, check them out. It's amazing food, and you and Aaron are doing a great job, and your whole team, Mitch and everybody. So
it's not a huge team.
Yeah,
the whole team's doing great.
Right. It's a good team. So anything you want to pitch, promote, anything?
I mean, I have one show on the books, but it's not so March. Probably won't happen.
Yeah.
Depending on what the future looks like. I don't even know why I took it, because I have only been up once in the last. I'll have been up like 2 like outdoor open mics that at one point, and then I've literally had one outdoor show since March. So it'll be one show in a year that I'll have done before I go back up again. Almost to the day, because it was like middle of March. Yeah, it was like March 13th or something, like whatever weekend that was.
Yep.
It was my last weekend at One Night Stands, and then I didn't have anything else to do. So.
Oh, wow.
I don't need to promote that. It's in Alpena too, so I don't know how many people are going to go to Alpena.
I did. I found out that I thought it was going to be canceled, but I'm excited. I'm going to next Saturday night at Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase. I am with Rob Jenkins, and
nice.
I don't know who the host is going to be, but I'm excited to go there. It's one show on Saturday night. I'm not sure what time. I think it's 8. But
so are they not? Because like they can't do food and drink, right? Is that right? They just not be able to. Huh.
Yeah, no food or drink. Just sit there with your mask on and shut up.
That's right. You better bring like one of those like
hiking
backpacks with the water.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
You can through your mask.
Right. But
I guess just Bangos this weekend is the next event I have.
Cool. Where is it? Where are you guys going to be?
Saturday will be at 800 East Michigan.
Okay.
That's going to be well, you know this because you helped us with the paperwork, but that's where
that's
separate little side physical location is going to be opening, so people can check that out.
Yeah.
And then Sunday at the Brew Cafe on Kreitz Road, 610 North Kreitz.
Cool.
If you're looking for a breakfast sandwich.
All right, buddy. Good talking with you. I appreciate you coming on. And when there's
I'm glad if they got through all the coup talk, like a good sandwich. All right.
Yeah. If you're hungry for justice and sandwiches, go to Bangos. Check them out. It's Bangos, right? on
Instagram?
That's
the Instagram. Yeah.
Cool.
If you just like right. pictures of sandwiches, it's a good thing to follow too, even if you aren't from around here.
Right.
That's Bruce or Bird or whatever his name
is. All right, buddy. Good talking with you, and I want to have you on again, and we'll actually talk about creative stuff. But I thought we should talk about this tonight, just because
it felt a little weird that too. I agree.
All right. Good talking with you, buddy, and thanks for stopping by, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow at some point. I don't know when. And I love all of you. All right. Thanks, Will. See you, bud. And bye.